Chapter Review. External costs are cost of production that fall on people other than the producer of a good or service. Marginal social cost equals marginal private cost plus marginal external cost. Producers take account only marginal private cost and produce more than the efficient quantity when there is a marginal external cost. Sometimes it is possible to overcome a negative externality by assigning a property right. When property rights cannot be assigned, governments might overcome negative externality by mandating clean technologies, imposing pollution taxes, or using a cap and trade program. Practice problem. The first one, Figure 1 illustrates the unregulated market for a pesticide. When factories produce pesticide and they also create waste, which they dump into a lake on the edge of the town. The marginal external cost of the dumped waste is equal to the marginal private cost of producing the pesticide. That is, the marginal social cost of producing the pesticide is double the marginal private cost. The first question is, what is the quantity of pesticides produced if no one owns the lake, and what is the efficient quantity of pesticide? What is the deadweight loss? If no one owns the lake, then 30 tons of per week quantity of pesticide is produced. The efficient quantity of pesticide is 20 tons per week, and the deadweight loss is the gray area in the triangle. If the town owns the lake, what is the quantity of pesticides produced, and how much does the town charge the factories to dump waste? If the town owns the lake, the quantity of pesticide produced is the efficient quantity, 20 tons per week, and the town charges the factories $50 a ton of pesticide, which is the marginal external cost of the pollution produced by that quantity. If the pesticide factories own the lake, how much pesticide is produced? The factories produce the efficient quantity, 20 tons per week. If no one owns the lake and the government levies a pollution tax, what is the tax per ton of pesticides that achieve the efficient outcome? If pollution tax is $50 a ton paid by the factories achieves the efficient quantity of pesticides because the pollution tax equals the external cost. In the news power plant rule aids Northeast. A new Obama air pollution rule required coal-fired power plants to reduce both smog and acid rain causing pollutants. The coal industry says this rule is among the most expensive ever imposed by the EPA. Source, The Wall Street Journal, July 7, 2011. Explain how the pollution limit will change the quantity of electricity produced. For whom would the pollution limit be expensive? To reduce the amount of pollution, power plants must produce less. The quantity of electricity decreases and the price that consumers pay for electricity rises. The outcome is efficient if the quantity of electricity produced is that at which the margin social cost of electricity equals its marginal benefit. The table shows the marginal private cost and marginal benefit schedule for producing PBDE, a chemical flame retardant. Suppose that there is an external cost of $100 per ton of PBDE produced. In figure, label the axis and the plot the marginal private cost, the marginal social cost curve, and the marginal benefit curve. How much PBDE will an unregulated market produce? What is the equilibrium price? What is the amount of marginal external cost at the equilibrium quantity? An unregulated market produces 3 tons quantity of PBDE and equilibrium price is $400 per ton. At this quantity, the marginal external cost is $300. What is the efficient amount of PBDE? At the efficient quantity, what is the amount of the marginal external cost? The efficient amount of PBDE is 2 tons per day of quantity. At the efficient quantity, the MCO marginal private cost is $300 and equilibrium price is $500. $500 minus $300 is $200 is the marginal external cost, which is either pollution tax or abatement cost. If the government set a pollution tax of producing PBDE, what must the tax equal to lead to the efficient quantity of PBDE? $100 per ton of PBDE is the pollution tax that government has to levy in order to lead to the efficient quantity of PBDE. Complete the table that shows the cost of producing pesticide. So in the table shows the quantity in the first column, marginal private cost in the second, third is marginal external cost and the marginal social cost in the last column. So we know that marginal social cost is nothing but marginal private cost plus marginal external cost. So the red ones are the blank spots I have filled here. So you can check out yourself. To calculate marginal private cost, we have to take out the marginal external cost from marginal social cost. And to calculate marginal external cost, we have to take out marginal private cost from marginal social cost. And to calculate marginal social cost, we have to add marginal private cost and marginal external cost. The production of fertilizer creates water pollution. How does a tax result in efficient quantity of production? What information must the government possess to use a tax effectively? Pollution taxes are designed to charge polluting firms the cost of their product pollution. By forcing firms to pay this tax cost, the firm's marginal private cost becomes equal to the marginal social cost. To use pollution taxes to overcome the problem of pollution, the government must know the marginal external tax at different levels of output. What is the emission permit? What advantage do emissions permit ever have over the government, assigning each firm a limit on how much it can pollute? An emission permit is part of the cap and trade policy. The permit is issued by the government and allows firms to pollute up to the limit of the permit. Firms can buy and sell emission permits. The advantage emissions permits have over assigning each firm a limit for its pollution is the incentive it gives firms. When firms are assigned a limit, the price has exceeds their marginal private, so each firm has an incentive to increase its production past its limit. The government must monitor firms' compliance, which can be difficult and costly. Emission permits, however, give the firm an incentive to increase their producer's surplus by developing new low cost technology to limit pollution and thereby sell their pollution permits. So these are the true and false which I have solved. You can see by yourself.